An abnormal state Air Force colonel asserts the United States endeavored to drop a nuclear bomb on the moon in 1959, however were kept from doing as such by a propelled extraterrestrial race. In the 1950s, Colonel Ross Dedrickson was in charge of keeping up the atomic weapons store for the EC. AggregateEvolution.com reports, as his tribute states. He was allotted to the U.S. Atomic Energy Commission. A long administration with the Energy Commission between 1950 to 1958 included contract organization obligations at Nevada test locales, Pacific Nuclear Test Area west of Hawaii, atomic weapon assembling and quality confirmation in Albuquerque, and examination of atomic and non-atomic offices all through the nation. He presented with the 5th Air Force in Japan and later as a positioning colonel, officer in charge of the Pacific Unified Command, trademark S substitute order and control focus in Hawaii. In 1962, he was exchanged and filled in as deputy for material for the 832 Air Division at Cannon Air Force Base, Clovis, New Mexico. He resigned from the USAF in 1964. He is one of many military informants with confirmed foundations to have been delivered by Dr. Stephen Greer's Disclosure Project. His declaration about UFOs, particularly about UFOs and atomic weapons, can be authenticated by an abundance of data and proof that is presently accessible inside the general population space. A large number of these informants have shown up at the National Press Club with an end goal to get this data out to the world, with the latest case being the citizens' hearing on disclosure, which occurred a couple of years prior. With such an expert foundation, working in the spots he has worked, it's sheltered to derive he was conscious of delicate data on various subjects. This isn't only an arbitrary high-positioning military informant discussing an irregular issue. There are numerous informants and reports unmistakably sketching out a decades-in-length connection amongst UFOs and atomic storerooms and test destinations. Some of these occurrences have visual affirmation, alongside air and ground radar affirmation too. In the meeting underneath, Dedrickson clarifies how the American government attempted to explode an atomic weapon on the moon, however were kept from doing as such. To the extent the standard goes, it's open information that a declassified report by the Air Force Nuclear Weapons Center from June 1959 shows exactly how truly they thought about the arrangement, called Project A-119. As a rule, they needed to research the ability of weapons in space, and also encourage knowledge into the space condition and the explosion of atomic gadgets inside it. To the extent the data beneath, that most likely goes further into the black budget. It's intriguing how the world is so into network shows like Stranger Things, which delineates the Department of Energy and their association with supernatural animals and other odd certainties, yet so ready to overlook a high-positioning American colonel who held extremely touchy positions at the Department of Energy for quite a long time, when the majority of this atomic advancement was extremely hot. He is the genuine article and it's fascinating to consider what he may truly know. I likewise found out about occurrences including atomic weapons, and among these episodes were 2 or 3 atomic weapons sent into space were obliterated by the extraterrestrials. At the plain end of the 70s and the mid-80s, we endeavored to put an atomic weapon on the moon and detonate it for logical estimations and different things, which was not satisfactory to the extraterrestrials. They demolished the weapon before it got to the moon,